Welcome back to Laughing in the Dark, the podcast where I hang out in haunted places with comedians. I'm your host, Sarah Jones. So today, we're going to introduce a new segment of the show where you share your ghost stories with me. The first ghost story we have is from my buddy, Shaun, who is fabulous. I met him at a call center I used to work for in Portland, Oregon, and we go way back. So Shaun is going to share a couple of ghost stories with us right out of Athens, Ohio. If you want to follow along, you can go to our Instagram at LitDark Podcast, LitDark Podcast. We're going to post pictures that follow along with the episode. Here's the call. Okay, well, do you want to say your name and where you're from? For listeners, not for, I mean, I know who you are.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so my name is Shaun.
Hi, Shaun.
Hello.
I'm an alcoholic.
Right? That's just one of the many things that I am.
I'm Shaun. I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Hi, Shaun.
I'm an aspiring queen. I like to live fabulous. I'm a wild one. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, so I was born in Cleveland, moved down south. Due to events out of my control, I went back up to Athens, Ohio. Batshit crazy little college town. Also, batshit crazy haunted town. Like, It is just
hella
scary.
haunted.
It is scary, like, some of the wild shit that goes on there.
Cool.
Like, I was talking with somebody about this, and I didn't know this until, like, right before I left there, but, like, apparently the city of Athens, or the town of Athens, whatever you want to call it, is in the middle of a pentagram that is designed by, like, cemeteries. So all the cemeteries apparently all the cemeteries around the town form a perfect pentagram, and Athens lies in the center.
Oh my god, that is amazing.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that until, like, right before I left when someone told me, and I was like, oh my god, that explains so much.
So, like, wait, have you seen a picture of, like, an aerial view?
Yeah.
And you can see it?
Yeah, you can totally see it. And it's just
my god, how cool is that?
Yeah, it's disconcerting. Once you do it.
When you don't live there, it's awesome.
You're like, oh man, that's fucking sweet. And then, like, you go there and you're like, oh well, maybe not.
Maybe this sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. It's definitely, like, one of those, like, fun facts things, right? And
yeah,
I don't know. It explains a lot of the wild shit that happens there. And I'm gonna tell you a fun story about an insane asylum that used to be in the town.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but, like, there's other wild stuff that's just happened there, like, randomly, where, like, a girl tried to perform a seance in, like, a college dorm, and then, like, she went crazy and, like, killed herself there, and then, like, the walls still bleed blood every year on the anniversary.
No way.
Yeah, so, like, that's a closet now. That's, like, a janitor closet. Because they tried to paint over it, and every time they did, like, blood would, like, still show up, and it was just, like, super creepy.
Did they just paint it blood red to just kind of try to compensate? Like,
they went to Sherwin-Williams, got the red velvet, and they're like, all right, we'll fix her.
It's aesthetic. It's fine.
So, like, it's wild things like that. And the other thing too is, like, you're talking about, like, southern Ohio, which is in, like, the Appalachian Mountains. Like, the Appalachian Mountains are batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Like, West Virginia,
I don't know anything about them.
West Virginia, Southern Ohio, like, Western North Carolina, like, they all have their crazy ghost stories, and they all have their crazy, like, things. But yeah, it just kind of plays into that too. So it's wild. I've got a pretty fun one for you though.
Yeah, I can already tell I love it already.
Yeah, it'll be something else. There'll be love, there'll be passion.
There's going to be ups and downs. Yeah. You're going to laugh, you're going to cry.
Yeah, right? This is like Titanic 2. It's going to be like a roller coaster. Like, you know what's going to happen. Spoiler alert.
There will be
sinks.
A haunting.
Yeah.
The boat. Such like a condescending... The boat sinks.
The boat sinks. I almost feel like that should have been the movie poster for Titanic, but that's neither here nor there.
The Titanic, the boat sinks.
Yeah. That's the designer and me just getting right to the gist of it. Clearly, this is going to be your worst podcast because I don't know how to tell a story for shit.
No, dude, it's wonderful.
The end. The boat sinks. The end.
You're like, that's it. Bye.
Thanks for the money. So I'll go ahead and jump into this story.
Okay.
And let the chips fall where they may with this.
Yeah, let's get our feet dirty.
So, I set up kind of what Athens is like. It's a small town, southern Ohio.
Haunted as shit.
It's haunted as shit. Center of a pentagram,
Yeah.
Bad shit, crazy things happen.
Just your typical small town.
Yeah. And I mean, they've got like 30 plus bars within like a 4-block radius. I mean, it's fine. There's ghosts, there's alcohol. What more can you want?
Right, spirits.
Exactly. Spirits for days. You got alcohol spirits. You got all the spirits.
All kinds of spirits. Hang on, what the hell is that? Is that a ghost?
Yeah, that is the ghost. That is... Well, she's the color of a ghost. That's Luna playing with one of her toys. I've got sound effects. I've got sound
Make
effects
sure that is just consistent through the whole episode.
Oh, yeah. No, it will be. She sure is haunting the shit out of Darth Vader right now, so I'm pretty sure he's going to haunt us in the future. I could probably close the doors.
Yeah.
I could probably close the... Oh, no, she's leaving. She's had enough. She's like, Dad...
But maybe just in case we should shut the door.
But maybe just in case.
Maybe less of that.
I go 0 to 100 real quick. Fucking quick.
The boat sinks.
Yeah, the boat sinks. Yeah, so I set the stage about Athens, and so like when I came back from North Carolina back up to Ohio, I didn't know anything about Athens. My cousin went there, and she was like, "Hey, you want to come down?" And this is like July, like midsummer, like super warm, and she's like, "Oh, come down, kick it for the weekend, and we'll live, and we'll just have fun." And I'm just like, "All right, whatever." Hold on, real quick. Let me shut this door.
Okay.
All right, now the joke's on me because it's fucking pitch black in here. Now I'm gonna scare myself.
Uh-oh, spooky. So wait, so you said your cousin was in Athens and she invited you to live there or to just come visit?
Well, just to come visit. So I was gonna attend there in the fall, or I was thinking about attending there in the fall, and so I wanted to go back to school, get that education and live my dreams.
Yes, your dreams of working at the call center.
Yup. Stay in school, kids. go spend all that money so you two can work in a call center making $10 an hour. Spoiler alert, don't go for an art degree. It is useless.
The boat sinks.
Yeah, the boat sinks. There's no money in art. I don't know who will tell you there is, but there's not. So I was thinking about going there. She's like, "Yo, like, just come visit me for the weekend." I'm like, "All right." So I go down there on a Friday, and she's like, "Hey, like, do you want to go out? Do you want to see, some of the landmarks, see what's going on?" I'm just like, "Yo, I want to go drink, but okay, we can
There's
go
plenty
around.
of spirits, yeah.
Yeah, but so we she took me to like the Ohio River, and there's like cherry blossom trees, and like she took me like, you just see like this giant hill with like what looks like a forest at the top, right? And she's like, "All right, we're gonna go up to the ridges," and I was like, "Well, that's fun." She's like, "What's that?" She's like, "Well, it's an old insane asylum that used to house like all of the psychiatric inmates from like Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia." And I was like, "What the fuck? Like, why would you keep this here? Like, how? Like, how did this get here?"
Yeah.
So like
it's an abandoned insane asylum. It's not.
Yeah, it shut down in the late 80s.
Oh, okay.
But like it's like a compound, right? It's almost like a university because there's like 10 buildings.
Yeah.
Over 10 buildings, and like it was all like manicured and well taken care of, and it looked
weird.
Yeah, and like
so it didn't look abandoned.
Well, no, because the university owned it. So I definitely didn't look abandoned because like they were keeping it up, right?
Yeah. But there was no one inside of it.
So funny story about that. That's where they kept the graduate art studios. Yeah, right.
The artsy types can go here.
Yeah, which I'll talk about because like you can go in there. Some of the buildings are shut down because of asbestos, but the graduate art studios, they're basically old cells and they're connected via the showers, which is weird as fuck.
So weird.
But yeah, so like I'll tell you some wild shit about like what you see in there.
Okay.
But like so when we first drive up there, right? Like you're driving up this hill and you're thinking like, all right, like I'm about to go to this island. This looks insane. But like you get there and like it's super chill, right? You're just driving around. There's normal grass. There's some more buildings. It looks just like a college sitting up on a hill. But then if you drive around back, you could see there were rolling hills, and on these rolling hills was just fields and fields of white crosses. Like, and I mean, like, white crosses, like, there were like 200, 300 just white crosses.
Yeah.
And what those were is, it was the people that they experimented on that died there.
No. Oh,
yeah.
no.
Like, and like, we pulled over and like, we went out to like look at them. And when you look at them, there's no names. It's just a number. And they're just white crosses. And some of them didn't even have a number, which is like
scary.
Which is like super creepy. And like, this is around this time, it's getting to be like twilight. So like, the sun's starting to go down a little bit. And so it's that right time of the evening where
the sweet spot.
All the weird shit starts happening, and I'm just like, all right, cousin, like, this is cool. Like, maybe let's go. Like, I don't do well with scary shit. And she's like, no. She's like, you want to go inside? She's like, I got a buddy that's there, working this evening. He's just like doing painting or something like that. She's like, you want to go? She's like, you want to go inside? And I was like, okay. So like, we go inside, and it was just like. It was up on the second floor of one of the buildings, and it was just me, Heather, my cousin, and this dude, and I think his name was like Anthony or some shit like that. But he's like, and that's where I got to see like the inside, like the quote, like graduate studios. And this is where things get like way creepy because, as I said, it's all just cells, and it's all like bathrooms that they shared. And so the university didn't do anything to them. All they did was maybe take out the wall between the cells, but the windowsills were completely untouched. And here's where things get creepy as fuck. The windowsills had all the writings from the inmates when they were still there.
Whoa.
And so you would see like wild shit like that was like scratched in the windowsills. Like there were messages, you know, like help me, kill me.
Oh my God.
One of them was like make the voices stop. I just want to get out. Like one of them was like one was telling a story, and it was like yesterday they came and took me away, and you know they did something to me, and I woke up and there was blood everywhere, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah. Wait, so this was written in like, I mean, is it like carved into the windows
Yeah, because they had wood windowsills with the steel bars, and so these messages were actually carved on the sills themselves.
Oh my gosh.
And like I said, like the university never like, obviously
they were like, whatever.
Yeah, like it costs a lot of money to go back and replace everything. So just like, fuck it, we'll just leave it there. You know, it's history.
Put the art students there. Who cares?
Yeah, right?
They'll be inspired by the tragedy.
Oh my God. And so like, this is right after I just got done looking at a field full of white crosses, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
oh yeah.
Like they had like all these like carvings in there. And then if you look at the bathroom, have you ever seen those movies? And I guess it's like this in Saw and some of the more like, you know, realistic movies where when bad shit happens or somebody dies in like a bath, in like a shower or scene like that, there's like a stain on the floor from like the blood going down into the drain, right?
Oh yeah.
These totally had that. Like in every fucking thing, in every one you looked at, there was always a dark stain. It was always darker going into that. Like, and there was like little like trails and stuff, and I'm just like, yo, like, did you guys mop? Like, what the fuck? Like, this isn't good.
No, who has time?
Yeah, right. And so like after seeing the hills, after seeing the crosses, after seeing that, I was just like, all right, like we need to dip out. Like I've had enough. Yeah. Like I don't want to deal with this anymore. Like because I'm a big scaredy cat anyway, and so. We're leaving, and so we had parked out front of the buildings, and you know you could get like a pretty good view of everything. And I just happened to glance up at like one of the buildings that we weren't in, because in the little area we were, there's like 6 buildings. And I glanced up to like one of the buildings we weren't in, and I swear to God, I turned white as a sheet because I saw someone standing in that fucking window.
Oh my God.
And
would it have been like an art student or?
No, because the fucked up part is like, it looked like she was missing a portion of her head.
What?
Like, yeah, it's
Wait,
like a crescent.
Which portion?
Like, it was like a crescent moon. Like, you could see like, it was like a big L. Like, you could see like her left eye, her nose, her mouth, but you couldn't see like her right eye and like that whole portion of her skull. Like, it was just gone.
Wait, I'm sorry, just to like clarify, it wasn't shrouded in darkness. It was like just not there.
No, it was just not there. And like she was wearing like a white dress that looked like
How
it was
far
from, like,
away
the
was
70s.
she from you?
Like I don't know, like 400 or 500 feet. Like it was, she was.
Oh,
she was
so she.
Yeah, it was. She wasn't like right up on me, but she wasn't like a mile away.
Yeah, like you could see. Oh, sorry, you were saying she was wearing a white dress.
Yeah, so she was wearing like a white dress, and like it looked like super like from the 1700s, very plain, almost like just like a sack gown.
Yeah.
And like at this point, like I'm like white as like that shit she was wearing, because I was like, because to my knowledge, it was Heather, Anthony, and I, right? Like there was not supposed to be anybody else in there, and I was like, I turned to my cousin, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, did you see that? I was like, did you? She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, did you see like there's a girl up there that's like missing part of her head? And this is like the wildest shit that, and it still like triggers me to this day. She was like, oh yeah, she's like, that's Josephine. Like people see her on a regular basis.
What?
Yeah, there's a group of ghosts that haunt the ridges, and you can see different ones at different times of the year and on different nights. And so there's Josephine, and I think there's like 3 or 4 more, and they call them the caretakers of the ridges.
How creepy is that?
Where they still go around, they still look. And then like, as like, you know, I'm getting in the car, like I look back up, and like, the girl is still there. And like, she puts her hand on the window. And I was like, all right, like we gotta go.
Josephine?
Yeah.
Did you point it out to Heather?
Yeah, and she's just like, oh yeah, you just get used to it. She's like, watch this. And we drive around the ridges because it's a big circle around the outside part. And she was in every single window in every single building.
Oh, scary.
And I was like, shut the fuck up. Like,
and then you were like, I'm getting used to it.
I was like, well, so like, I started like berating Heather with questions, because like, you see something like this, you're just like, no, like.
Yeah, your brain doesn't want to believe it.
You can't just be like, oh yeah, this is like a normal thing, it's fine. No. And so like, I talked to Heather about it, and she was like, oh yeah, like, they're not scary. Like, they don't do anything. They just like show up just to remind people that like, that the ridges is still like a haunted place, and that they haven't like passed over. And so like the art students kind of get used to seeing them, and they get used to like not necessarily interacting with them, but just being watched, you know. And I don't know, for me, like there's no way, like there's no way I could ever do that. Like there's no thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know, to this day I can still see Josephine's, well, what was left of her face, and I can still see her like hand on the window, and I'm just like, I don't know. I never really like believed in ghosts, you know, and I'm not super religious. Like I mean, I do. I've been to church. I grew up in the South, so like I've been to church and a lot of things like that. But I don't know. I believe that I do believe that there's something out there. Like I do believe that Josephine, and I never got a chance to see like the rest of them, because I changed my major, because I was gonna be an art major, and I was like, nah, fuck that. Like that's and I mean, to this day, like I don't know. Like you could argue like maybe it was like something off the glass, like reflecting wrong in the window, or.
But not when you saw her in every single window.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I know it makes me sound like a crazy person, but yeah, like I saw her in every single window. And just being like in that environment, just being in that presence, like it's something you never forget. And like just talking about it now makes my hair stand on end, because it was like legitly one of the most terrifying experiences I've ever had. It's pretty legit. Like you don't even, once you get to Athens, there's just a weird feeling about it. Like you just get a feeling that something's off. There's a lot of wild stuff. Like when I was initially talking to your manager about this, there was another story I had, because the house that we lived in at college was haunted. It's pretty ridiculous that like you get these kind of consistent stories coming out of Athens like all the time. And I think that
wait, so this house was in Athens as well?
Yeah, like it was in Athens. It was on College Street, like one of the main streets in town, and like so apparently I'll give you the abridged version of the story. But, like,
okay.
Apparently, like it burned down in the late 1800s. It used to be a bar, and the bar burned down, and I think it killed 30 people within it. And then when they rebuilt it, they built it up as 2 houses. And so I was there by myself in like a 3-story house because it's a college house. You know, there was going to be like 6 other dudes that lived with me.
Yeah.
It was just me in the summer, and like random stuff would like move throughout the house, and I would hear I would hear cupboards and closets opening and closing when there was no one else in the house. Like, it was just me. I'm up on the 3rd floor, and all the doors downstairs are locked. So why is a closet on the 2nd floor like slamming?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, this is weird. So like finally, all the 6 other guys like move in August, and you know, things are cool for like a month or two, and then like one night my roommate Kyle came up to me and he's like, I've been having these night terrors of Phil coming to visit me, and like he just like crawls up to my bed and I can't move, and he like sits next to me.
Who's Phil?
So Phil is the ghost that was haunting our house.
Oh, what?
Yeah, Kyle, the gentleman that was having the night terrors, apparently he was getting visited by Phil on a pretty regular basis, and Kyle couldn't move because of his night terrors, and so Phil would come into would crawl into his room, sit next to the bed sometimes. So Kyle said sometimes he would crawl onto the bed and sit next to him, and like just like have conversations with him about like what happened. And Phil is short for Philip, and he was like a rancher or something that had died in that bar fire. And so Kyle was telling me all this wild shit, and I'm just like, shut up, like, no.
Right, yeah.
And so one night we get the grand idea, because Kyle got sick of me being like, you're lying.
Right.
Kyle got the grand idea that we would do a seance at 3 o'clock in the morning. But oh my God, so like we're sitting there, and we had a 3rd person with us, and I honestly can't remember who it was. But we were all sitting in a circle around a candle, holding hands and chanting some stupid shit that Kyle found online. And it was just us in the house. And we're up on the 3rd floor, and all the windows are closed, and the door going upstairs is closed, right? So we chant and we chant.
What were you chanting?
Some weird incantation of like trying to get like some like demons or ghosts to show up.
Was it like in Latin?
Yeah, I think so. Like,
really?
college was a very experimental time, obviously.
Well, for all of us, sure.
Lot of drunk, stupid decisions were made there.
Yes.
But like, so we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, like, it just gets freezing cold in the room, and Kyle goes, "Okay, Phil, I know you're here now. Show yourself." And like he says that like 3 times, and I'm like, nothing, like whatever, nothing's gonna happen. And all of a sudden, you hear a thud, and the candle blows itself out.
Oh, shut up!
And I'm like, no. And Kyle jumps up screaming and like runs downstairs and like runs out. I couldn't even sleep in my room that night because I was terrified.
Yeah.
And I never
so did you see the ghost?
So he never showed up, but like the thud and the candle was enough to make me be like,
fuck this.
I was like, all right, that's enough for me. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Fuck this. Like, I'm out. Like, I'm so done with this.
Yeah. Especially if Kyle has become like chummy with Phil, and he's not cool with it.
Oh my God. And I'm just like,
if he's running, I'm running too.
I'm like, Kyle, listen, hey, if you're out, I'm out. I'm deferring to you on this. Like,
definitely.
If you're like, yo, Phil's a fucking lunatic, I'm out. Like, all right, Phil's a fucking lunatic, I'm out too. Like, I'm not joking around with this.
No.
But like, and these stories like they sound like outlandish a while, but they're not just. If you talk to anybody who's lived in Athens, like, they'll have their own ghost story. For me, it's the best little college town ever, because you definitely get your dose of spirits. You get alcohol, you get ghosts. Like,
what more could you want? Some scary stuff. I'm definitely going to have to visit Athens, Ohio. Like I said in the intro, our social media is up, so check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at LitDark Podcast. That's LITDARK Podcast. And hey, if you have a ghost story, please email them to us. We love them, we want to read them, and we might want to put you on the show. Our email is litdarkpodcast@gmail.com. We cannot wait to hear from you.